Jason Verdone, and I am coming to you from the LRC-South at Rowan University. And this is another edition of Learn and Create. So I am here to show you today a counting game that you can make out of a cookie sheet and some die cuts of cupcakes. So what we call this is called counting cupcakes. So I'm going to show you how to put this together very easily at home. So using the die cuts and candles and things you would have around your house. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you our die cut. So this is our cupcake die cut, and then we're going to cut 3 or 4 pieces of paper all at once. So we're going to make our die cut pieces that we're going to put in our pan. So we put the rubber side down, put it in the machine, we press it out, and we have our perfectly shaped cupcakes that we're going to use as part of our props for our counting game. So as you can see, they're all, as you can see around the table, we start at 0 because you always want to include 0 when you count, because 0 does have a numerical value, so students need to know what 0 stands for when you count. So what I did was I cut out die cuts of numbers from 0, because again you want to use 0 to 10. So what's nice about the die cut is, if you look at some of my examples on the table, is I used a layering effect, which means you can add different embellishments to them. So I'm going to use some of this shiny scrapbook paper that has a nice colorful effect to it, and I'm going to line that up at the bottom. So as you can see, I'm going to cut it out along the lines. So at the end of our video, as we always do, we have an activity plan, and we have patterns and all sorts of things that you can download and use with your students, whether you're teaching remotely, if you're a teacher, or if you're working with your own students, because we're doing a lot of remote learning now. So we have to rely on being creative and making our own materials. So this is the bottom of our cupcake. Okay, so we're going to use the red and green one. So I'm going to use our glue stick. I'm going to add the embellishment to the bottom. So we call what we call here is layering. And like I said, we're going to start with 0. So all of these activities that we do are available through our LRC Express service. But like I said, you can also also be able to download them and do them at home. So if you see our cupcake pan, I have it labeled from 0 all the way to 10. So students will, you could lay the cupcakes on the table, the students can pick them up, they can match the number, and then they could use candles, actual candles I got at the dollar store, as your manipulative, so the kids can use these as counters. So, if we're starting at 0, 0 would have nothing to count. So they just put the 0 cupcake in the well of the cupcake pan. And I labeled them from 1 all the way to 10. So that's one example. Like I said, you could use candles as your manipulative, so the kids can actually count and interact and manipulate things with your cupcake counting. So like I said, at the end of our video, you are going to be able to download the activity plan, the patterns for the cupcakes, and a nice list of resources that you could borrow from the LRC Express. So I thank you for watching, and stay tuned for another Learn and Create.